Unfortunately, the overwhelming, overarching storylines for this season of the Kansas City Chiefs so far has been the players that the Kansas City Chiefs have lost. Still, the Kansas City Chiefs remain 4-0, and one of the interesting subplots is the emergence of safety Chamarri Conner. Where other players have fallen, Chamarri Conner has risen. And in an article from Bleacher Report titled Every Team's Biggest Hidden Gem at Quarter Mark of the 2024 NFL Season, written by Christopher Knox, we get this about the Kansas City Chiefs. It circles around Kansas City Chiefs defensive back Chamarri Conner. Real quick, guys, before we get into that, if you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans as we are slowly creeping up on the 5,000 subscriber mark. And the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about here, so if you do find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button to stick around for more. Now, back to it. From Bleacher Report, we get the following. The Kansas City Chiefs parted with a huge defensive piece when they traded cornerback L'Jarius Sneed this offseason. However, their seventh-ranked scoring defense has remained dependable, thanks to budding role players like Chamarri Conner. Conner, a 2023 fourth-round pick out of Virginia Tech, appeared in all 21 games as a rookie, including playoffs. He played well then and has been even better in an expanded role so far this season. After playing 28% of the defensive snaps as a rookie, the safety nickelback has played 60% of the snaps through 4 weeks. So far, he's tallied 25 tackles, 2 passes defended, an interception, and a fumble recovery that was returned for a touchdown, a very important touchdown, all while allowing an opposing passer rating of just 76.2 in coverage. The 24-year-old is fast, physical, and seems to have a knack for locating the football. He's a perfect fit for Steve Spagnuolo's defense, and it won't be a shock if he's on the field even more frequently as the season progresses. So let's take a moment to sort of look at what it is that Chamarri Conner has done so far in 2024 compared to his rookie season of 2023. In 2023, Chamarri Conner was a late addition, not a late addition, but a late player, a late rising player, I guess I should say, a late emerging player for the Chiefs defense, playing only 305 snaps and playing quite a bit in the playoffs last season as well, but only 305 snaps during the entirety of the regular season. Thus far, through 4 games, Chamarri Conner already has 156 snaps, basically half of his playing time from last season, accumulated through just 4 weeks this year. In 2023, he had 1 interception. In 2024, he has an interception as well. In 2023, through the entire season, he had 1 pass breakup. Thus far this season, he already has 2. Last season, he had 0 fumble recoveries. Now, fumble recoveries in the NFL, largely a right place at the right time sort of stat, but you will notice if you look through statistical categories for players and playmakers, they tend to roll up and collect around certain types of players like high-effort guys who always know where the ball is. Last season, he had 0 sacks. So far this season, he already has a sack. Last season, this is the difference. Last season, all year, 36 tackles. This year, already 25. Now, 25 tackles in half the playing time, putting him on pace for roughly 50 tackles by the time he gets to last year's accumulated snap count. 2 tackles for loss all of last year, 1 tackle for loss already this year. And look, I'm going to go through one more set of statistics before I get to a talking point that I think is going to prove ultimately a little bit more interesting. Here we have the advanced defensive categories. Last season, he had 20 targets. This season, he's already given up 18 targets. seems to be a bit of an edge towards last season. But I'm not sure that's the case. This is the NFL. Everyone's throwing the ball. The Kansas City Chiefs have won all 4 of their games, meaning that opposing teams were passing the ball to try to stay in the game. Last season, he gave up 17 completions. This season, through 4 games, he's given up 14 completions. This, again, may seem like an attack vector. He has given up 3 fewer completions in almost half as many snaps, meaning that he is being targeted and having passes completed on him at a much higher rate. But I think that what this is really indicative of is the fact that he is playing a more important role on the defense this season. He is being tasked with covering higher priority wide receivers than he was last year. Last year, he gave up 85% completions when targeted. This year, that has fallen down to 77.8. Last season, he gave up 173 yards when targeted. This year, 141. Last year, an 81.9 rating when targeted. This year, a 76.2 rating when targeted. Another stat to look at here. Last season, he had a defensive average depth of target of 8 yards per target. This season, it's fallen all the way down to 4.6, meaning that he is playing tighter coverage and giving up fewer impact plays. 81.9 rating when targeted, falling down to 76.2 rating when targeted. Now, this is a very, very compelling revelation for the defense because Steve Spagnuolo plays so many safeties, because Brett Veach enjoys having so many defensive backs. This is a guy that is going to be a Kansas City Chief for 3 more seasons, 2 more after this year, and on a rookie contract, compared to someone like Justin Reid, who does seem to me to be struggling this season and is costing a whole lot more money than the rookie contract being played out here by Chamarri Conner. But the one thing that is maybe most compelling about this argument, most compelling about the fact that Chamarri Conner is emerging as a playmaker for this defense, the one thing that is perhaps most compelling extracurricular to the player of Chamarri Conner is how often we sit here in the wake and aftermath of a football game and ask ourselves, where was Jaden Hicks? Jaden Hicks has been essentially invisible thus far this season. We saw him make many contributions in the preseason. We saw him make contributions in training camp, but thus far he has just 13 defensive snaps as a rookie. Chamarri Conner started his rookie season in a much similar fashion, someone that was not being counted on by the defense, and he grew into a role as the season went on and ended up being a contributing factor in the playoffs for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chamarri Conner was just as liked by the coaches heading into last season as was Jaden Hicks heading into this season. So, while and whereas we can sit here and think, well, where has Jaden Hicks been? Not a good sign. I want to see Jaden Hicks on the field, etc., etc., etc. It may be that he's just on the same path as Chamarri Conner, who is emerging as a playmaker here in his second season. So, hopefully that is the case, and the Kansas City Chiefs have a trio of safeties, young safeties, moving forward that are Chamarri Conner, Jaden Hicks, and Brian Cook. If Justin Reid does decide to remain a Kansas City Chief, I think it would be because he has decided to take decidedly less money, but which would open things up as far as it means to be acquiring players in free agency. One of the things that has been hurtful for the Kansas City Chiefs is that they have not been able to be particularly active in free agency because of all of the homegrown talent and contracts on the roster. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.